Ugh, not a big fan of Ray's mom.
Are you gonna look at her when she answers?
I've always felt unheard during our arguments.
Always say. The answer
Always.
is always.
Hello everybody, welcome back to Taste of Reality. My name is Queenie. For those who don't know me, reviewing, I almost said Love is Blind. What? We left that a long time ago. What is this? The Ultimatum. Episode 5 and 6, I was able to finesse. Hopefully I'm not too long-winded in this episode, in this video. I'm tired, okay? Before I get into it, please make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, and let's get into it. Okay, that was such a horrible intro. I'm keeping it. I don't care. All right, so the couples are debriefing about what happened at each of their nights, and Zay and Shanique get into an argument that I don't understand.
Clearly, I can't fucking make facial expressions or have a thought without it pissing him off. Lower your tone because you sitting up and you're starting to yell and you're starting to get a little strong with your words.
Okay,
lower it,
don't
please.
talk to me like that.
Because I've been, no,
you know that.
Do not talk to me like that.
I'm not talking to you, no way.
Y'all.
Unless they cut something out, I didn't think he was getting, like, aggressive with her. I didn't think he was coming for her. I think, honestly, he was trying to express something. She was pulling faces, and that irritates any, listen, a for sure way to piss me off while I'm trying to state my case for something is to make a facial expression. And I know because even I used to do it to other people, and I had to keep my face in check when I'm having a disagreement because it throws salt into the situation. So it could be that we're missing a scene, or maybe I just come from a loud and expressive family that this didn't bother me, or it could be the alcohol in this situation. I just felt like this did not need to be the argument that it turned into. Now, when Randall and Madeline were recapping each other, Randall was so adamant on trying to explain to Madeline what her boyfriend was doing, this and that, and she clearly kept saying, I don't want to hear this. He did not care.
Colby came out and spoke about his difficulty and also spoke about the times where he made out with somebody else.
I found it interesting. Could be a reach, but I'm reaching. I found it interesting how Randall and Shanique almost have a similar way of arguing. They're so adamant on being the person who's heard in the situation and not realizing that they are the issue. With Shanique, she was pulling faces and she was like having an attitude, and you know, you're referring to somebody that this guy loves. He's going to feel away. So when he's asking, yo, like, what's the attitude? Don't talk to me like that. Okay. And then with Randall, Madeline told him time and time again, I don't want to hear this. I don't want to. You need to hear this. You need to. Excuse me? And I found it hilarious how both of them pushed their partner out of the apartment. I'm like, well, now it makes sense why y'all have your issues. I feel like the way y'all argue, you're used to somebody being combative with you back. And I guess that's what her and Randall do. But like in both their situations, in both their current situations, if Randall would have just tabled it and addressed it another time, maybe when she was sober or maybe just later, it would have been fine. Maybe. If Shanique would have like been receptive to listening to what's going on, also not throwing salt in the wound when talking about Ray, I feel like that could have changed as well. Could be reaching, but I'm reaching. Ultimately, Zay did come back and apologize. However, Madeline was chased down a little bit, and I'm not sure if they resolved it that night. They didn't catch that on camera, and apparently they don't catch a lot of stuff on camera when it comes to Randall.
You're on the camera, right? Why do you care? I don't care.
I know you don't care, but I care.
Well, that's suspicious. Are you uncomfortable with the cameras, or do you not want receipts? Because you're comfortable spilling the tea, Miss Gossip Queen. But when it comes to this affection, you don't. Okay. Shanique and Randall end up meeting up to talk about each other's relationships. She's still pulling faces and he's still trying to get his point across. It's just a hot mess.
So you're not listening to me right now. You're turning your head. and we're having an adult conversation one-on-one, but you're looking to take shots or deflect from
That's
this.
what I feel like you do all the time.
Okay, but that's what I'm working on.
So the interesting thing is that at this point, Shanique is the only person who hasn't really succumbed to the temptation of the situation. And so off the heels of that argument with Randall, hearing all the girls talk about how they've been really embracing April's a whole nother story. She was like, you know what? I give in. I'm going to do what everybody else is doing. And I don't know what was this? What's going on in them sheets? Okay. But also we get to see Randall finally kiss this girl on camera. And I don't know if it's because I just don't like Madeline, but this kind of felt uncomfortable, but that could just be me. It's probably me. I swear to you, at this moment, at the end of the episode, when April and Colby kissed, I looked at my camera like, not my camera, my computer. I looked at my computer like, huh?
What the fuck?
I mean, I guess, there's no rule against the kid. I was taken aback. I was shocked. I was perplexed. I was all the things. Moving on to episode 6, Colby and April are, everybody is at the table trying to do the change back, right? So Colby and April are first, and they're sharing about the ways that they've become better people. And Madeline, she wasn't having it.
Did she start her period or did she lose her virginity? And what of that are you taking credit for? And who the hell are you to say what it takes to become a woman?
I thought that was hilarious because I was like, yeah, what business do you have talking about, I turned her into the woman she is today? Relax. Okay, relax. But I think what he meant, and I'm playing devil's advocate because I don't really like this boy, but was like, she's really coming to her own through this process. And that is through having this experience with me, which is true. And you know what? Even if Madeline didn't understand it, April clearly understood it because she was in tears. So it meant something to her. Ray and Jake are next to share their experience. And to be honest with you, they weren't really saying much of anything. It was kind of like, we had a great time and we've really evolved and it was great and great.
I don't see growth there. I don't see her opening up more.
You're not with us every day, and I do feel like I have had growth and I've kind of come into my own a little bit more, but you'll be able to see that over the next 3 weeks.
I think Zay was justified to call out Ray and saying, she's not saying anything. And this is true to nature. She doesn't emotionally express herself because every single person has been able to articulate some kind of character development through this process. Whereas Ray and Jake, I think it was like a holiday romance for them or something, which, hey, I'm still unsure on the parameters of this experiment. So do whatever you got to do to make it work, right? But Zay was really looking at, what are the things that I need work on while also seeing if I have potential over here. Ray was like, listen, I found me a new thing. We vibe, we get along. Let's see if we can actually be a thing. And I could see how that was irritating to Zay. I'm very biased to Zay. I feel like there's just so much potential with this kid. I say kid, we're the same age. He just needs some time. He's going to be stellar. I feel it in my bones. Then you have Randall and Madeline who are sharing about their experience, and Colby low-key makes a dig at Randall, insinuating that he's unable to handle her strong nature.
I don't know if you would be able to handle what she delivers sometimes.
Colby, I think you got to reword that because I don't know. You should. I don't know.
Like what?
Shanique also had her own concerns when Madeline was speaking so highly of Randall. In her mind, she thinks that he has so much more work to do, and it's unfair for Madeline to make an assessment based off of 3 weeks of knowing him when she's known him for, I think they've been together 2.5 years. The thing with that is, the things that he needs to work on might be so that a relationship works with you, not necessarily with Madeline. So she could be justified in saying, listen, to me, he checks off all the boxes. He's picture perfect. There are little kinks here and there, but I'm okay with that. Whereas for you, that's the reason why y'all came here. Like, I feel like it's unfair to say you're ill-informed and saying these things about him and that he doesn't need to work on anything with you. But Madeline wasn't looking at the process that way. Madeline was looking at, what if I was with Randall? So to her, her perception is going to be different, right? And then on the other hand, people bring out certain things about you. So it very well could be that with Madeline, Randall was a completely different person that worked for Madeline. Whereas with her, they ain't really gelling like they used to. You know what I mean? So yeah, I get Shanique being annoyed by the statement, but he could be a good partner, just not for you. Yeah. Now that the couples are back together, Ray is wondering what happened between Shanique and Zay. Child, I'm wondering too. What happened under them sheets? I need to know. We have Randall, who doesn't think Shanique is happy to be back with him. Babe, whatever. Yo, I don't know if he was like this before coming in, but hanging out with Madeline really like amplified whatever this catty nature of his is. It's off-putting. And April has been texting other guys.
I had to find out from somebody else.
I'm not even doing this.
I had to find out from somebody else.
This is a shit show. This is gonna be the longest 3 weeks of my life. I've literally grown so much in the last 3 fucking weeks.
April, it's never your fucking fault.
In April's defense, if we are to break down the experiment, I'm single for 3 weeks and I'm having a trial it's a trial marriage. Yeah, but marriage, you know, it's what you make it, right? Yeah. I'm really forcing it here. I'm coming in not being in a relationship with you. So therefore, what I do is my business. It doesn't matter if I'm texting other people. If we're using the experiment, it shouldn't matter because technically she was single. Turns out she and Colby were both messing with other people too because Madeline went through Colby's Apple Watch or something and he was texting other girls saying he's in an open relationship, which isn't completely a lie.
It was someone that he made out with and didn't tell me about. Not even the girl he made out with when he was with Zay.
They obviously get into an argument and he leaves the apartment that night. Next day he comes and Madeline is talking to Ray and she's upset because she said that Colby said that she, follow me, is the reason why he was texting other people. He's like, well, I was doing it for you.
I did it for Madeline. I did it because Madeline asked of these things. Not necessarily to go out and find someone to kiss in, but to make things real.
Now, technically single, yes. I cheated on you for your benefit? That's a little... I think you're pushing it. You're pushing it here. I don't know. I don't know how to feel about it. Because, yeah, technically they were single. Like, in the same way that she was kissing Randall, he had every right to be texting other people. Like, maybe? No? Y'all let me know. Zay and Ray meet up with Zay's mom and friend, I think it was. And he's trying to express to Ray that you picked a partner who was most similar to you, but wouldn't challenge you. Whereas I'm a more combative person. So picking somebody similar to me was going to challenge me. And she didn't like that. Mama didn't like that.
Do you know why she interjects?
Because I won't be hurt if I don't.
Oh, whoa, okay. Whoop, that was a good one. Zay.
Yeah, I got whatever I don't. Bro,
Zay, don't do that to me because I'm her mom. Look at me.
The whole family clearly doesn't vibe with Zay. Like, Ray don't vibe with him. Mama don't vibe with him. Daddy don't vibe with him. Like, the way I would see myself out of this relationship expeditiously. Get me out of here as quick as possible, okay? In terms of what they're actually talking about, he's trying to say, you know, please explain to me how this process grew you, how you evolved. And she's not coming with anything. And so now I feel like she's attacking him, saying he always cuts me off. Like, I never get to speak. Well, You ain't saying nothing. So he needs to properly articulate to say, okay, this is what I am asking for so you can answer this question. There was even a question where he was like, how long has it been since you felt unheard? I feel unheard when how long? You don't listen. See, you're saying he don't listen to you. You don't listen to nobody's listening to anybody. And unfortunately, in this conversation, he does get emotional. And the only person who consoles him is the friend. Throw them away. Throw the family away. I'm so sorry. I'm not a person who believes that family has to accept your partner in order for the relationship to work. However, if your family is showing that they're not going to try to be unbiased when listening to both of you, if they're going to speak ill about you, whether in front of you or in your absence, I know not all families get along, but I at least want to feel like I'm accepted here. I'm marrying into a new family. And also take in Zay's own family dynamics. Now you're gonna have two sets of parents who don't like you. I would never willingly enter that kind of situation. Zay, run. We have April, who admits to having snooped through Jake's phone while he was passed out drunk.
I found videos on Jake's phone filming this close up to Ray's ass doing this shit at the fucking club.
Again, marriage is what you make it, all right? If you Lane, I have to put myself in so that it doesn't seem like I'm judging people, though I'm kind of judging. If you Lane was in a marriage or saying I'm ready for marriage, I at least want to know I'm not in a state of mind where snooping through somebody's phone is justified for me. I don't feel like that sets a good precedence for a relationship, let alone a marriage, right? And so even though she found incriminating evidence against Jake, the principle behind going through somebody's phone, especially when they're in a vulnerable state like being passed out drunk, maybe be single or maybe work on y'all's trust issues, but yeah, no. And she's like, yeah, I'm crazy. This is the crazy April, crazy. You might want to get that in check before you have these kids, though. Forget the marriage. You get that in check before you have offspring. Last but not least, the episode ends with Madeline and Colby, and I'd be lying to y'all if I said I watched it. I skipped through it. All I remember is she was priming the friends to be angry, and they were exactly that.
You're being brainwashed. I don't mean to be dramatic,
no, honestly,
but like literally,
yeah.
You are eating everything that he is feeding you. It's kind of insane.
Like, do you really want to deal with this forever?
This is now, what, 2 groups of Madeline's friends that aren't really rocking with Colby? If you want to go, go. She's telling him, you don't have to be in this relationship. You don't have to be in this relationship. You don't want to marry him. You don't believe in the one. You think Randall is so spectacular and, you know, this guy is she called him a narcissist. Leave. Maybe she does. Who knows? We'll see by the end of the season. As always, like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.